All right, so looks like we got some good news. Terence Crawford, Bob Arum, and Top Rank won. The next fight for Terence Crawford to be against Kell Brook. I take that as pretty good news. Let's talk, and actually it's Terence Crawford that is insistent and pushing on the fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Hey, if you're not subscribed, I hope you accept my invitation to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, thank you so much to everybody that supports in the live streams that we do Monday through Friday at 11:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. And thank you to everybody that has joined the channel and everybody that supports on the Patreon. Let's talk about Terence Crawford. Over the last couple weeks, I've done a lot of Terence Crawford videos because I've been watching a lot of Terence Crawford fights in preparation for a project that I'm working on over on the Patreon. I think you guys are really going to enjoy. It's a little more detailed than I thought it was going to be, but we're working to crank it out. But one of the videos, one of the fighters that I can't wait to see Terence Crawford in the ring with is Kell Special K Brook out of the UK. Little bit about Kell Brook. Kell Brook is the former IBF 147 pound champion. He actually beat Shawn Porter. He lost to Errol Spence Jr. He lost to Gennady Golovkin up at middleweight. So he's never been in a fight where the guys got blown out. All of his fights have been very competitive. I think he's a very, very good fighter and somebody that I would absolutely positively love to see Terence Crawford in the ring with. Now, Terence Crawford, and I say it all the time, and every time I say this, people get confused or act as if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense. But I have Terence Crawford as my #1 pound for pound fighter in the world, and I have him as my #2 welterweight. Great, #1 pound for pound in the world because of the balance that he has between all of the different the 4 different scoring criteria in boxing. His defense, his effective aggressiveness, his clean and effective punching, and his ring generalship. All of those are, in my opinion, are top notch, and he contains the best balance of all of those things of any fighter in boxing. That is my opinion, and that's why I have him as the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Other people have different criterias. That's on you what your criteria is. I told you what mine is, pretty straightforward. That, however, does not make him the best welterweight because pound for pound is hypothetical. Top welterweight is what you actually do. And right now, the top welterweight is Errol Spence Jr. because at welterweight right now, he's the guy that has not only 2 belts, but he's in his prime, he's in his physical prime, and he is beating the best competition that there is at 147 pounds, more so than Terence Crawford and more so than Manny Pacquiao. And I have Errol Spence Jr. beating both Manny Pacquiao and beating Terence Crawford in boxing matches. But that is not at all to diminish the stature of Terence Crawford. I just think Errol Spence Jr. is a special fighter, as is Terence Crawford, but styles make fights. However, unfortunately, we cannot really answer the question about who is the better fighter between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. because they're not going to be fighting one another for the foreseeable future. Errol Spence Jr. has a fight. I think Danny Garcia is going to be the next one, and he wants Manny Pacquiao after that. Terence Crawford is over on the Top Rank side and really doesn't have anybody to fight. So to hear him talk about going and fighting a matchroom fighter in Kell Brook, I think is a great thing. Now, Kell Brook was originally the one pushing the fight. There's actually a video out there where you have, I think it was Derek James is talking to Kell Brook, and Derek James and Kell Brook are going back and forth because Kell Brook wants some more smoke at 147 pounds. He's just like Shawn Porter. He wants to get back in the ring with the rematch with Errol Spence Jr. and he wants to get a fight with Terence Crawford. In the middle of the conversation between Derrick James and Kell Brook, Terence Crawford walks up and they start saying, hey man, can you make 147? You can make 140. If you can make 147, let's make the fight. Now, the guy that brings this up, now it appears that Top Rank is behind it because Todd DeBuff, who is the president, Todd DeBuff is the president of Top Rank, and I do believe he's the son-in-law or the stepfather? No, father-in-law. I think he married his daughter or something like that. Regardless, he is a relative. He's in the same family as Bob Arum and runs, I do believe, the day-to-day business in Top Rank, along with another guy whose name always skips mine, not Bruce Trampler, somebody else over there working along with him. But anyway, now it seems Todd DeBuff is saying that Terence Crawford came to him and said, I want the Kell Brook fight. And Terence Crawford said that he would be willing to move up in weight if Kell Brook can't make 154, can't make 147, or Kell Brook can move down to 147. Either way, Terence Crawford is cool with that fight and wants to make that fight. He also let it know that this was something that was in the works. Todd DeBuff let it be known that this is something that was in the works prior to us getting hit with the virus and boxing getting shut down. He said that they were supposed to have initial meetings in March. So hopefully when everything clears up, they can begin those talks again and get Terence Crawford and Kell Brook in the ring together. I think that is a great fight. And I will continue to say that I think that is a great fight, even though that there are certain people out there who believe that I'm just making that up. Like as soon as Terence Crawford starts fighting, as soon as Terence Crawford fights Kell Brook, I'm going to start crapping on Kell Brook as a fight. I will not, because Kell Brook is a good fighter. Kell Brook is not David Benavidez, Jose Benavidez. He's not Amir Khan. Yes, he's lost 2 times, but he has not lost like Amir Khan has lost. Amir Khan lost his law. Man, how many times has Amir Khan lost? Lost to Breedis Prescott, lost to Danny Garcia, lost to Lamont Peterson, lost to Canelo Alvarez. I know there's somebody else that knocked out. I'm probably missing somebody that knocked out Amir Khan. But Amir Khan is just, man, he's not Amir Khan. That's enough on Amir Khan. He's not Amir Khan. He's not Victor Postal. He's not Igis Kalvanakis. Now, maybe it turns out that, that Kell Brook could have slid to where now he is the level of an Igis Kalvanakis. But in my mind's eye, when I see a fight between Kell Brook and Igis Kalvanakis, I only see it coming out one way. And that's with Kell Brook winning, if not stopping, more than likely stopping Igis Kalvanakis. The only issue with Kell Brook is that Kell Brook got He had broke both eye sockets in the 2 losses that he had. One eye socket was broken with Gennady Golovkin. The other eye socket was broken, or orbital bone was broken with Errol Spence Jr. But he's now gone through a couple fights. I think he's had 3 fights since then. Might be 4, but I think he's had 3 fights since then. He's stayed relatively active, and he's not lost, and he's not had any recurring issues, no reoccurring issues with his eye. Now, it might have just been that he fought Errol Spence Jr. too soon after getting the first surgery for Gennady Golovkin, but hopefully his eyes are behind himself his eye problems are behind him. Either way, I'll take the fight. Now, how I see the fight turning out is I see Terence Crawford winning the fight. But I think that it is going to be a better fight than a lot of people think. I don't think that Kell Brook is somebody that you really start running downhill, that Terence Crawford is going to really start being able to run downhill on. You know what I mean? And it'll be interesting because Kell Brook actually fights southpaws very, very well. The fight against Errol Spence Jr., in that southpaw position for a lot of that fight, man, I didn't think that the southpaw stance really had much of effect on Kell Brook in that fight. It's just that the intensity of the attack eventually started breaking him down and wearing down his body. Terence Crawford does not fight like that. But I do see Terence Crawford pulling off the fight. I really, really want to see the fight. Now, it's not as good a fight as obviously Sean Porter. I was going to do a video today about Sean Porter and his team talking about Terence Crawford. Again, this time it's not Sean Porter directly, but it's his father, Kenny Porter. But I'll put that off into a video for tomorrow because I think that this fight with Sean Porter, with Kell Brook, is the more realistic fight. I don't get why though. Bob Arum says that he doesn't know about a Terence Crawford fight because who's gonna pay, a fight with Sean Porter because who's gonna pay for that? Well, why is Kell Brook any less expensive than Sean Porter? Similarly, similar to Amir Khan being more expensive than Danny Garcia actually was, but them going ahead with that fight anyway. So I don't know, sometimes the way these guys' minds work don't make sense to me, but hey, I'm happy to hear that these guys are trying to push for this fight. Terence Crawford needs that type of name on his resume, and hopefully after that we can start getting to some of the fights between Terence Crawford and these PBC fighters, because I definitely want to see him. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section, and with that, I'm out. Peace.